He went wrong. So we're live. This YouTube.
YouTube's a glitching.
I know.
But we're on.
If we can't see the chat, that's not going to be good.
No, for real. That's my phone.
True. We can pull it up and put it right here.
You can. No one coming in the chat.
Gotta get back to showing up for the people. We can just do our podcast anyways. Resume our conversation.
This is podcast 1.0 of the T3 pod.
T2. 3 is
T2 right now.
30 miles away.
But I still feel his energy and presence with us right now. Nonetheless, hop right into it.
We gotta find the live stream so we can see the comments.
In case any of you guys pull up a comment.
This is how we want it to go, actually.
If you comment, you're gonna wake up with cookies under your pillow in the morning.
All right. There's one viewer, and it's us. We're eating grapes.
That's how it used to be when I was young. When I would PS live stream, and then my MacBook open and have one view, and I would draw my own comments just to see if the audio comment would be good.
No, I mean, the cool thing about live streaming is like people watch it after. Like, I think that's what I like so much about live streaming is like you do it, it's raw, and then
you can cut it up and almost customize it.
Yeah, so we can get curious and we can just explore things on the internet with people. I think that's a cool way to do this that I want to do right now.
This is all going to get cut up and put into one, or actually multiple super viral YouTube videos. So I want to drop hi YT in the chat.
All right.
Watching.
What? Yeah. What's up, YouTube? All right, one thing I wanted to explore is like the metaphor of the Garden of Eden. This was something I was thinking about when we were at the gym. I'm going to say Garden of Eden, metaphysical meaning. So we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about it. All right, I'm actually going to share the screen.
I think that was a good idea. I was thinking that.
Yeah. All right. When you told me the thing, hello. Hopefully the mic's working. Drop it in the chat if the mic is working. Wait, we can tell because we're on our own stream. All right, confirmed, working.
Sorry for the echo.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the metaphysical world.
This is the first time I've heard about this, so it's going to be new for me as well. For all the chat, it's new for you as well.
But it's not really new for anyone. That's like the cool thing about this.
Because you're experiencing it actively right now, even if you're unaware.
Exactly. And that's why the game's all about awareness. Like that's why they say consciousness is awareness. And this is why I'd love to explore. We've had so many late nights diving into this.
Some interesting nights.
God. Yeah, very. But I was thinking about this in the gym. Because metaphysically, the Garden of Eden represents a state of original divine perfection, uninterrupted oneness with the divine, and the realm of unmanifested spiritual potential.
So is this like, you got Adam and Eve, like they don't even got clothes on. They don't even realize that they need to be wearing clothes and shit.
Exactly. And that's the allegorical story, right? It's how they aim to educate us. I think something cool that I learned through the Gnostics was like what Jesus taught the people was different than what he taught his disciples. If he had his number 1 and number 2 going out to preach his word as well, you think he'd be telling them the same things as everyone else? Or he'd be giving them the proper sauce to go help them, right?
Right.
So the soul's state of innocence. This is important to understand because in my eyes, as I like explore this medium, in my own life, like I'm seeking a state of like peace. I'm seeking a state of wholeness. Like I don't want to go through my life comparing myself to others. I don't want to go through my life wishing I was someone else. I want to like be here now, because here and now is where like heaven is, like, right?
Right. You can only be yourself, and to want anything else is just gonna be sad.
What's the Bryan Adams song?
I
Yeah, but I was asking, how does it go?
You only have to pull up the lyrics.
Thinking back to our younger years. For those of you that are going to be watching this after, the reason this is important to understand is because this is the default state. That's why it's saying unconditioned consciousness. So, in my eyes, I'm exploring all the religions, I'm exploring all the spiritualities, looking for the threads of truth guiding me back to a way of life, right? The way, the truth, and the life, some may say.
And in our modern world, everyone is falling under a conditioned state of mind and being. They're always concerned by whatever they see online, or even what people think of them, even though those people ain't even talking to them. They're just worried, they're just stressing for no reason.
Exactly. So I look at this stuff like, what's the equation for a good life? I think the equation for a good life requires us to go back and explore what the greats were talking about, right? And like we can look at this a variety of ways. Like,
I like that one.
This one?
Click on that one.
All right. We got the serpent in the Garden of Eden. We got Adam and Eve. But I also want to look at the symbolism of it. That's a blurry image.
All right.
Because I don't think it's like, I think a lot of things with spirituality is like, if you're afraid to face the mirror, you're going to be cast out of heaven again, right? Like if you're afraid of versions of yourself, this is what Carl Jung, when he says we cast a shadow, or if you do not make the unconscious conscious, it'll govern your life and you'll call it fate. And I think that's because if we don't face certain parts of ourselves, if we don't look in the mirror.
We have people in the chat. Let's go to those in the chat.
Oh, let's go. Deep Daily. Preston, you got to keep an eye on the chat. You guys, for some reason, my main stream isn't showing the comments. It's saying something went wrong with.
Keep an eye on y'all. So
yeah, so Mad Dog is the GOAT.
We got some OGs in the chat. Drop one in the chat, you OG.
Mad Dog is my boy named Trent. He's a real one. Deep Daily. I think this is the first time I've seen you stream. What's up? He said, I'm about to watch your video and go to sleep. That's fire.
Snooze fest out here.
You have a blessed day as well. No. All right. I think it's important to explore these topics, right? Like everyone that follows me is on like a spiritual journey. Like I'd consider these people like spiritual seekers.
Right. We're all on our path, whether you realize it or not.
Exactly. Right. Which is the question of conscious versus unconsciousness. I'm gonna go find that guy that's like, I'm going to say Pinterest, esoteric gardens of Eden. No nudity or we're going to get this banned. All right. You can have my location. See, like a lot of people like come to this stuff. I used to come to this stuff and I would be like, oh my God, what are the secrets of the universe here? Like
to reach heaven, you have to realize that you're living in heaven on earth as we speak right now.
100%. Or, all right, we're going in, we're doing no passwords today. You guys, this is the first stream. We're figuring it out, streaming on like an actual desktop.
Drop your Pinterest password in the chat.
All right, I'm going to unshare this. I'm going to sign in, and then we're going to get back to the good stuff. People are going to see my aesthetic, and they're going to see all the stuff I've been checking out on Pinterest. Don't worry, it's cool. I've been dialing in my apartment.
Yeah, Pinterest Premium.
All right, we're back. This is like a cool way to explore this medium because it's like what I used to do, right? Like all the imagery I use is kind of like from this stuff.
Right, Love Island is not what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
That's the opposite end of the spectrum.
but I've seen Love Island. Have you? I was gonna actually try and make you watch it and see how you reacted
If
to
you
it.
want to watch a good love show, watch Temptation Island, No Love in Miami, and Could Have Been Love, Drewski. Love Island is kind of just whitewashed, generic.
That's okay too. I haven't watched this season of Love Island, but last year when I lived with Bryn,
Right.
I watched the middle of
Shout out
the
Brennan and Francisco in the chat.
yeah. Shout out Brandon Francisco in the chat. Okay. I want to look through the imagery, right? Because these great civilizations, these great thinkers, these sages, these people that were leaders of these evolutions in consciousness for people left us what they believed was the truth, right? They left us what they believed would be the key to unlock a better world, right? Because we're not going to be here forever. Like you said, we got to surrender to our mortality.
Exactly.
So, knowing that, can we push the needle? Can we come to more revelation? Can we go back with a new eye in a modern world and look at the things they were telling us? Because honestly, all of it is pointing back to us.
Exactly. Despite what they were telling you, what I'm telling you is that you are perfect the way you are, and that you don't need any external validation to actually be happy and be loved. Don't overconsume. Everyone overconsumes these days. I watch FIFA, whatever. It's just like bet, gamble, gamble, gamble.
It is that.
I will say, I have a parlay or two. It's just don't overconsume. Have balance in your life.
100%.
That's what we're going to talk about.
All right, this is the Kabbalah tree of life, right? This is like the game of hopscotch. When in school, when you do hopscotch, 1 foot, 1 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot, 2 foot. Like everything is this like symbol. Like for some reason, this is what Carl Jung, like symbols come from the unconscious. And I like to go look at the imagery because it's all pointing back to us. So I think the first piece of information people need to internalize is that when you're on your spiritual journey and you might be off exploring these things, you might be off exploring the esoteric wisdom, you might be off experiencing the occult wisdom.
There's a lot of things to explore.
Exactly. And the answers are not in an external place, right? This is the law as above, so below, and like esoteric wisdom. Because as above, so below is the idea that the macrocosm, the grander universe, embodies traits of the microcosm. And we see this in something called, what's the word I'm looking for right now? Fractals. We're just going to go down the rabbit hole we want to go down.
Right.
Fractals in nature. So it's like, why does everything embody these same traits, right? Like, why do the leaves have veins just like we have veins? Why does a flower blossom just like a galaxy?
Look up the cosmic web.
The cosmic web?
And you'll find that we all have something in common.
Ooh.
See, that when I look at space and astronomy and the galaxy, what I really see, despite I was just about to say, your brain cells.
Exactly. So this is like one of the first laws of occult wisdom, esoteric wisdom. Now, I need to put a disclaimer here. I'm at a place in my life where I've come to a conclusion on like what this is all about. And it's all about surrendering. So I'm just going to like lay that foundation here. In the surrender, you are free. You have inner freedom. And this inner freedom allows you to go through life with no expectations. It allows you to go through life with that childlike curiosity. Like that's why these great sages has encouraged us to get back to a childlike state of wonder. Like think about when you're a child and you're experiencing everything for the first time. Like
it's all natural. Nothing's forced.
Exactly.
I find that most people, especially the younger generation, Gen Z or whatever, they spend so much time on social media that they have like extreme social anxiety. And we're talking about how do you overcome that? How do you find the truth in yourself so that you can actually live in the moment?
100%. We got JP Ramirez here. He's saying to reach a state of wholeness, one must lose everything to realize they need nothing and realize they are everything. That's a beautiful way to look at it. And I think what's cool is like, that's like what the dark night of the soul is, right? Like we get thrust onto this journey, we get thrust into awareness. And that's what I wanted to kind of touch on with like the fall from Garden of Eden. So let's go occult fall from Garden of Eden, right? Because I look at this as like a metaphor. So in my eyes, it's the tree of knowledge. It's the tree of good and evil. It says the serpent symbolizes the sexual energy as humans. We are tempted to release our sexual energy. I don't know if I want to lean into that one. Okay, there might be that aspect to it, but that's not how I look at this. Like, for me, the knowledge of good and evil is duality. It's what happened exactly. And this duality is heaven and hell.
It's
like
balance.
Exactly, but like let's bring it down to earth for people. Right here, I want to show you super simple terms, like why this spiritualism is actually like easy to understand when you realize it's about you. What is the good and evil in our everyday life? It's when we walk through life and we judge someone. It's why does that person look like that? Or why that person give me weird energy? Or I don't like that person. There's something off about them, even though I don't understand them. That is your unconsciousness. That is your own hell manifesting itself because it's unconscious. It is a reaction, right? This is why the higher level states are about consciousness. Because when you are conscious, that thing comes up within you and you don't react to it, but you just respond to it. And in that response, you can say, that is a thought that I do not want to identify with. And when you do not identify with that thought, and you let it take its course, you surrender it, you detach from it, you let go from it. And in this letting go, you realize you were not that thought. So you do not identify with that thought. And when you do not identify that thought, you're in a deeper state of awareness. You realize you are more aware of the things going on.
And you have to break the cycle because when you find yourself judging others unconsciously, you're also feeling judged by other people unconsciously as well.
Exactly. And that's a very uncomfortable thing too. Like, and it comes from like a full spectrum thing is like when you judge yourself, when you are super hard on yourself, that's a manifestation of how you treat others. You have to let go of judging yourself too. Like when I got started on my journey, like this was all the stuff I was after. I was like trying to understand this stuff. I was like, why did they speak to us in these symbols? This is the one that I always like kind of come back to. Because
drawn down the whiteboard.
Exactly. Because this is,
it looks like a DNA.
Yes, definitely part of that too. But this is what's going on, right? Look at it's two snakes. It's balanced but stuck. This is what you're just describing. Like when we get stuck in that cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that karmic loop.
And there's two sides.
Exactly. But it's like we're playing this game of yin and yang, this like dual polarity. It's like, oh my God, today's a bad day. Today's a good day. Today's a bad day. Today's a good day. I need to make money. I need to experience freedom, right? Like we're always trying to change this experience we have. And changing the experience is because we're making judgments of good and bad in our everyday lives. But if you can surrender that, and you can free yourself from the duality, you can make the more elevated decision, which is why we have the tremble, the triangle. It's because it's the tremble. This is why we have the triangle, because you have two eyes to look and one to see. Like this is what they say when two eyes to look, but one to see. Like that's the concept of the third eye. And the third eye is observational. Right? This is why it's called unconditioned consciousness, because all you can do when you're in that state of self is observe. That state of self, observing, when it's not attached to good, when it's not attached to bad, the snakes stop fighting. You break a karmic cycle. That's what this is all about. Then, guided, they climb together. It's a dance. Remember when we're saying it's like there's no like real roadmap to do it. It's just this tango going on. And it's this feeling, it's this intuitive dance with life to where you're surrendering and you're leaning in.
Right. And you're just constantly searching for that. But you really have it at all times. It's just
Exactly.
identifying it yourself.
And as they climb, they achieve unity in colorful diversity. This is like the alchemy of duality. This is when your mind expands and you can live in like a higher state of consciousness, which I think a lot of people are after, whether they're aware of it or not. Now, this is kind of like that esoteric occult stuff. Here's the snake eating itself. I want to look into this right now. It says the Ouroboros is an ancient symbol that depicts a serpent or dragon eating its own tail, forming a perfect circle. It represents the infinite cycle of life and death and rebirth. All right. The infinite cycle of life and death and rebirth is something we experience every day, right? We wake up, the cycle of life. We go through life. Someone says something to us we don't like. We either identify with it or we let go of it. We don't identify with it. When you do that, you die to yourself, right? You just surrendered your ego. You're saying you crucified your own ego in that process. That's why in the Bible says one must die to themselves every day. One must crucify themselves every day. Because this is what this process is about. This is why it's a process of, this is why it's a purification process. So this is why I wanted to start with like this information, because I've made it to a place where I understand the power of surrender and letting go. And I realize that a lot of these things are just kind of, it's imagery, right? You have to go through this process. You have to go and explore these things to realize like this too does not even matter, because it's all about what's going on within ourselves. But when you have an idea of what's going on within the outer world, you can create like an inner order. Christina said, about to sleep, but glad to listen for a bit. Shout out, Christina.
Sleep tight.
We'll see you in the next one. You guys are going to recognize this scene a lot more.
Yes, this is the very first time that we're streaming at the Disney crib, so
It'll be fun. I think like this is like what streaming is like.
and we're just getting the ball rolling. So
Yeah, we were sitting on the couch watching the World Cup and Preston goes, so if all you have is now, why don't we? And I was like, all right, let's just stream then.
and it honestly took me off guard. But I mean, I'm always the one Flintstone in the flame. So.
Let's go. All right. This is perfect. We got a transition here. I see it. The symbol embodies the idea that endings are beginnings in disguise. And destruction is simply a path to creation. In order to get to the version of yourself you want to be, the version of you that you are must die. And it does not have to be a painful process when you understand these things. It will be painful at points, but it's important to like live with this information in mind. That's why I'm dropping everything and I've been pursuing it the last few years. And I'm like dying to myself consistently, right? Like I'm leaning into this information and exploring it and sharing it on the internet as a way to hold myself accountable, because my life has gotten so much better because of this information. And I just feel an obligation to share this.
Amen.
It is a powerful representation of self-sufficiency and inner power, showing that all existence feeds and regenerates itself from within. As above, so below. If that's the case, then the universe feeds itself and regenerates itself from within. Like we have this own inner spirit power. The universe is the cosmic power. It's the cosmic source. So this is like how I look at this information. It unites, or it says, in alchemy and mysticism, the Ouroboros stands for the great work, the spiritual journey of dissolving the old self, awakening to a higher divine form. It unties opposites like light and shadow, chaos and order, masculine and feminine, revealing that duality is just an illusion of separation. Isn't that what we said right before this? Duality is an illusion of separation. It's the battle of chaos and order. It's us being like, this is my highest self, this is my lowest self. It's masculine and feminine. It's good and bad. If you want to get off the karmic cycle, you must go through the purification process. Like, this is universal law, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to experience a better life, you have to go through this process. Now, it says it's a unification process. So light and shadow become one. It's not rejecting of the other. It's not saying, I'm only going to, your highest self is the version of yourself that has integrated the lowest version of yourself, that has made peace with it. The only reason I've been able to get sober for 2 years is because I made peace with the fact I abused substance for a period of my life. And when I rejected that, I felt an inner shame and I experienced an inner guilt that I identified with. And it was that pain that sent me back to the thing causing it. Literally this cycle right here. I was eating my own tail. I would judge myself. I'd be shameful. And then I'd go numb myself with the thing. That's a toxic loop. So the Ouroboros also breaks the concept of linear time, showing that everything is happening in a divine loop where past, present, and future are one. Spiritually, it symbolizes wholeness, cosmic balance, and the eternal truth that you are the source, the process, and the outcome. An endless creator who transforms and recreates reality from within forever. That's pretty crazy.
The infinity sign hits different.
And that's what you become in that process, right? It becomes this evolutionary process. So, all right, infinity sign, on to the next one. I talk about a lot spirituality, God, neuroscience, metaphysics. And people are always like, do you believe in X, Y, and Z? Do you believe in Jesus Christ? Do you believe in Muhammad? People are coming to me saying, you need to make a decision. You need to pick a side. Well, that's kind of a joke, because if everything's an external manifestation and I've come to the internal realization, I have no need to justify it. I have no need to seek that in an external source, which allows me to better understand the spiritual sages. I better understand what they're saying because I did the thing they said to do. So I would consider myself personally a Gnostic. Gnostics are Christian mystics, right? So they believed in the alchemical process of inner work through concepts of the Christ, right? Gnosis is a spiritual knowledge and liberation gained through direct experience. This dude has been with me when I was in the process of direct experience. Anytime I've mentioned my spiritual awakenings to the people on the internet, this is the kid I was with when I was God knows where.
Crazy story.
This comes as a result of initiation, which is a flexible term for whatever might trigger said experience, whether it be through ritual, sacred texts, meditation, or spontaneous revelation. That's the beautiful thing. If we learned anything, it's that everything's going down in the past, in the present, in the future, in this now moment. Even though we're using the words to label it past, present, and future, it is happening in the now. Looks like the stream.
It's still live.
I know, but it's not screen sharing.
Oh shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching, can you tell me if you see the visuals we have up? The Matrix shutting us down. The Matrix is shutting us down. All right, we're back. So let's go. All right, I think we're good. All right, back to flow state. So if you guys are seeking to apply this wisdom in your own life, just know it can come through a variety of forms of initiation. That initiation can be you getting triggered in X, Y, and Z regard. You see that little animal running out
I
there?
did see him.
That's pretty crazy.
That's my boy.
Now, I'm going to synthesize this because I titled this live stream, How to Master Detachment. If you want to access the states of gnosis, it requires detachment because you're detaching from the dual experience. The dual experience is the thing that keeps you here. It's what we're looking at with those two snakes intertwined. This is like the super like esoteric, like, ooh, secret society, look at me, I've got all this cool information. Like, that's so...
It's detaching from any particular outcome. It's simply being present in the moment, period.
Yes, and one of the ways you do that is by making peace with things. By acceptance is detachment. Because if you're accepting something, you're saying, I don't need this to go any other way. So you're detached from outcome. Because the outcome, it is what it is. It's happening right now. I can't do anything about it. And that's what gives you freedom. Gnosis offers an abstract but profound series of challenges and insights that fundamentally transform the initiate so they can embody their full spiritual potential. This is what everyone's after. Even though you got people telling you to gamble, you got people telling you to drink, you got people telling you to smoke, you got people telling you to master artificial intelligence. Even if you do those things and get to the end of your life, this is going to be the one journey that you look back on and you're like, why did I feel like something was missing? It's because we never went and asked these questions, ladies and gentlemen. All right. For those of you watching right now, let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Mad Dog says, thoughts on Tantra, massage, or sexual energy, since you kind of touched on Adam and Eve, as I'm in the process of trying to stay true to myself and not fall for the sexual desire. I don't think it's about like pursuing perfection. Like, I don't think it's about like...
It's balance.
Yes, but it's more about like being okay with it, right? It's like, I was reading a book by Dr. David R. Hatkins, Letting Go, The Pathway to Surrender. Again, I just go back periodically and just read random things. And he was saying, it's not the certain act you do that necessarily holds weight, right? So it's not the fact that some of us prefer to drink alcohol. It's not the fact that some of us lean more into our sexual desires. It's not the fact that some of us lean into eating as a form of pleasure. But it's more a matter of a fact of like, what are you doing it for? Like, why are you engaging in that practice? Because if you're smoking to alleviate an inner emptiness, then that's a mirror. If you're engaging in your sexual desires because you are genuinely in love with a partner, I think that's different. But if you're doing it because you're just bored, like, exactly.
And I've spent so much time waste maxing and over consuming countless different things. Shout out Rainbet.
Me too.
It's just, you can't live a life as fruitfully as you should be without balance. With overconsumption, it consumes everyone. What do all the people who have everything, they always end up over consuming? I mean, we can just list a name, a name. I can't even
pull up the list.
We got a list of names of people who...
People at the top that died.
Paid the price because they've been over consuming.
Christina said waste maxing, LOL.
I mean, we could, let's just say Heath Ledger, Mac Miller, Whitney Houston, Prince. Obviously, we don't know the specific stories on it, but they reached the pinnacle. They had everything, but yet they had nothing. And that's because they didn't have balance in their life. And that's the snake eating itself. And that's why it's the infinity sign. We still got all these rich, famous people doing the bad stuff. You already know. Like,
yes,
you can find balance without finding all that external.
Yes. And a big thing is like realizing like it's your inner journey. Like if you're making decisions or thinking thoughts or feeling things, factoring in other people. Matthew McConaughey has this quote and he says, the most selfless thing that you can do is be selfish. Because to be selfish, if you're making the right decision for yourself, if you're making the most aligned decision in your heart and you're saying, this is the best version of me and I'm going to do this because it's the right thing, that's the most selfless thing you can do. Even though it doesn't necessarily, you're not people pleasing. Me, when I go out with my friends and they're like, Grant, get a drink. And I'm like, no. That's because the best me is the version of me that shows up sober. So I'm like, even though you want me to drink, you're still going to get the best version of me, even though I'm not drinking. So I just think that's a super cool way to like look at like making the decision you need to make to live your highest timeline. Now, going back to Gnosis, it says this experience is what comprises the apex of the hero's journey, and it is the root of all religion. By nature, it is abstract and difficult to put into words. I would argue against that, but thus, mediums like symbolism, metaphor, allegory, and parables are best suited to deliver the insights gained. There are huge differences, however, when an initiate experiences the dogma of religion. Where religion is often rigid in belief, the initiate must be flexible to discern truth under duress. Where religion speaks of love but often fails to realize it, the initiate is called upon to become a pure expression of it. Gnosis requires one to confront inner darkness and resolve inner conflict. It is the ultimate reconciliation of self, where all that is inauthentic and false is destroyed to allow the best of our nature to be fully realized. That's where I personally believe I'm not here to like justify anything. Like, I'm not here to argue about whose God is the most true, whose God is doing X, Y, and Z. When it's an inner journey, you are the one walking this path. Like, ladies and gentlemen, actually comprehend that. Who's the person you take into every experience you have? It's you. How could that not be the default eternal state? We are just aware of this physical finite experience right now, and I'm just in the Grant suit, and there's layers to it that we don't even understand, that we don't even know about, and that's okay too. That's where you find freedom in this. Through consistent surrender, you come to a greater inner knowing of what these people are talking about. All right, Preston, what's the next layer? What's something we should get into?
Well, I know we touched on intention, but I think we should probably focus on
intention. I think a good way to do that is,
I mean, what are you going to say, like, purpose would be like this?
Intention, doctor. Yeah, I think purpose in the sense of like,
and we're not coming from a point of view of, oh, we're masters of the universe. We're on our own journeys as well at the same exact time.
exactly.
We're always constantly learning. And it's powerful for everyone to share their journey together.
100%. And I think it's just cool to create a space where people can explore this.
Right.
Like, we're not necessarily like here to give people like a blueprint or like a study guide, but more in the sense of like, all I can do is speak on my experience. Like, all I can do is speak on what I know to be true. And it's things that have allowed me to come to a deeper sense of inner peace, a deeper sense of confidence in my everyday life and how I approach it.
Does that say Heisenberg?
Yes. The elucidation of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle was pivotal in its discovery that consciousness itself has a profound effect on the submicroscopic substratum of the observable, measurable universe, meaning intention itself became recognized as instrumental to the appearance of events. That is super. All right, we're getting really into the science stuff, so we might need to chat GPT this to bring it to life for others, or I could just explain it. Consciousness is your awareness, right? So consciousness is like substitutable for a variety of different things going on, right? It's the quantum field that Joe Dispenza talks about, right? It's like the infinite field of potential unmanifested energy, meaning it does not hold a physical form. Like, think about it. Your awareness, what you are aware of, is not a physical form. And if you were to actually sit in awareness, it is no thing. Like, this is what meditation is all about. When you truly meditate, you enter a state of no thing. When you have no concept of self, you're not paying attention to anything outside of yourself, and you've come to this true inner state of presence that is pure oneness. And this pure oneness is no thing, which is why it's everything. Because it has not been collapsed into an experience, because it has not been collapsed into a thought or a familiar identity or a familiar emotion. It is the true, pure, present state, the unconditioned consciousness in which you can make a decision.
So, what are some good practices to have that in everyday life and avoid the constant distractions that the world provides?
That's a great question. And I think there's a variety of ways to do it. Yes, I've meditated.
Let me think, people are spending like 5+ hours a day scrolling on their phone.
100%. So I think that's why it's important to ask these questions for like a modern world. That's a great question, by the way. Like we need to have that clipped up into a YouTube video. Is how to.
I got questions. I ain't got no answers. But drop your questions in the chat.
That's amazing. I got questions. I don't have answers. All right. I'm going to tell you the things that have worked for me on this journey. One, always listening to high-level spiritual wisdom. Trent says it's time for Preston to join the crusade. On God. On God. All right. The things you are consuming are shaping your inner world. So if you're consuming brain rot, you're going to think brain rot. If you're consuming, I wasn't pointing to you. I was metaphorically, directionally pointing. All right. If you're consuming unhealthy media, like if you're consuming the news, that's in a state of fear. So you're going to go into your everyday life and you're going to be afraid of some person at the gym because they just look a certain way based on your preconceived notion of them from feeding your inner world with fear.
Don't fall into the propaganda.
Exactly. And that's intention. So this is why it's saying that consciousness itself has a profound effect on the sub-microcosmic substratum of the observable, meaning your level of awareness, your level of consciousness that you hold internally through the thoughts and emotions that you identify with, right? Like the ultimate state is disidentification, but we're not going down that rabbit hole right now. We'll get there. This is just the first stream. We're coming back and we're warming up. We're getting our juices flowing. If you're feeding yourself fear, you are programming your mind for fear. So the first thing I would do is start listening to higher level awareness. This is why I put out the meditations. Like in the meditations, I talk about like, it's okay to let go of this version of yourself.
You got to break those bad habits and find better ones. Find ones that bring you out, bring out the real you, the true you.
Exactly. And letting go is a huge process in that. This guy right here, Dr. David R. Hawkins, the only way to access the higher level states that people seek, the higher level states, I don't even want to say higher level states. Imagine life as a circle, and the circle keeps getting bigger and bigger based on a level of awareness. You're actually looking for just the most present version of yourself right here. So if you're in a state of fear, you're like way out here. You're like focusing on all these things going on outside of you, the people, places, and things. So you actually need to disidentify with that and bring it down to a present moment where you have a more simple thought process. This is why the retard Maxine guy on social media is blowing up. Because it's really that simple. Like when I talk about surrender, retard Maxine is the same thing. It's the same exact thing. And I listened to Elijah Long and I even DM'd him because I'm like, dude, you're like spitting. Like you can tell he's actually read high level philosophy. Like it's a very positive thing to just be free, to just be fully present. When he's talking, I'll use surrender Maxine now. Surrender Maxine, retard Maxine, the same freaking thing. It's the same thing. This is what I was trying to allude to when I first opened up the live stream with the Garden of Eden metaphors. The Garden of Eden metaphor is the idea that we are in this pure state where there was no separation. Right. There was no thought. Well, okay, what's the metaphor here? The Garden of Eden is the unconditioned consciousness. It's the state of pure awareness. That's why I'm saying we can fall from heaven at any moment. Like if you are truly present, life is great. You're like, oh my God, I'm just here. Like, look at all these cool things going on.
Right, and you're not obsessing over your future desires. You're not like, I need that, you know what? Like, I don't need the sleeve. Like, I am him already.
The tattoo sleeve.
Yes.
Imagine a full tattoo sleeve. I was thinking about this because I was like, when we were driving home from watching UFC 250 and we pulled up next to Andrew, and Andrew was bumping music and he was like dancing out the car window looking at us.
Those are the best times.
I'm like, holy shit, this is my life. Like, I wouldn't want this to be any other way. Like, even though the people we love end up passing on, I still have them right here, right now. Think about it. The days we're not going to have our parents, that's a hard reality to face. But I look at all the magic that we've had and all the dark days that we've had, and I'm just grateful for it all. I'm not trying to change that. Like, I'm in pure acceptance that my life is this way for a reason. It's supposed to be like this.
The beauty in life is that time is fleeting. I mean, your home that you grew up in one day will no longer exist. The music that you love will one day no longer be heard.
And that's why we're bumping JB every night in our crib.
We're watching the Coachella Live regularly.
Okay, now back to the material. We're going to build off of these topics now. Rupert Sheldrake formulated the principle that form occurs first within the field of consciousness, so that morphogenic patterns plus intention are essential to activating potentiality into actuality. Oh my God, super sciencey words. Lord have mercy for the viewers that are going to watch this tomorrow morning. Let's break this down. The principle that we're going to illuminate here is that form occurs in a field of consciousness. Let's go back to the fear metaphor. Because you've programmed your mind for a state of fear, it's your default operating state in your level of awareness. What manifests from that fear? The thought that manifests from that fear is, oh my God, that person at the gym is scary, and now I'm afraid of them, right? The gym we go to has got some gangsters. That's for sure. But if you're in a state of fear, you're like, oh my God. But if you're in a state of love, you're just like open arms to everyone. You get along with anyone. Think about how that first occurred in the field of consciousness. Drop a 1 if that's making sense. I tried to do it in a super simple way. I want you to see the thoughts you're having are not your thoughts. They are manifestations of the energetic state of consciousness that you have internalized.
Well, it's just a habit. You have to break that addiction, because it's just like,
Literally.
once everyone is so used to consuming the same things all the time that it actually takes like real sincere effort to break those cycles.
Yes, and that real sincere effort is an effort to be conscious. It is consciousness, right? It is the ability to be aware. That is the effort. The effort are the days that you cheat on your diet and you start drinking again and you start smoking weed again when you told yourself you wouldn't. And you get lost in the sauce for 6 months sometimes. But you still choose to come back to this path. You still choose to get back on the horse. That is the sincere effort. It's not about perfection. It's about coming back every time. Because I've done it. I'm a lot better because of it.
It's the real you that's fighting to be out 24/7.
Exactly. And there's tools to make that process super easy. And it's taken me years to come to them, and I'm still exercising them. But it's important to like factor this information into our decisions.
I mean, the addictions run so deep. I mean, don't get me started on Reddit. Like, it's not it. I mean, the last 4 days, I read one chapter. Just one chapter from the little sissy book series he's reading. And that's the sincere effort. It's, you know what? I'm going to read one chapter. Let me just start these habits, because you got to break that old habit and you got to bring in a good one.
You gotta, no. Christina says, for me, getting lost in the sauce is just being disappointed and justifying it, making it seem real. Well, you just made it, you're aware of it, right? So this is where it gets interesting, because on my personal exploration, I logically understood these things, right? For a large majority of my spiritual journey, I intellectualized it. I understood it. I'm like, okay, well, I made that thing aware. Why does no thing change? That's because I wasn't doing the inner work. Like the inner work is not the fancy stuff. Like the inner work is not listening to the podcast. The inner work is not looking at the spiritual symbols. The inner work is not the crystals. It's not the manifestation. It's not those things. It is sitting in literally silence. So to come back full circle, a task you need to master, Preston asked the question, well, what do I do? You focus on presence.
Right.
You need to meditate enough in a seated position, right? So you got to start through seated meditation, because in seated meditation, if you spend enough time in meditation, you're going to realize that your default state is actually like not thinking. Because when these thoughts come up, you're like, well, I just sat down to fucking not think. Why are these thoughts coming up? Those thoughts are the thing manifesting from your field of consciousness.
And it's also important to, have a short memory about a few things, because we all have demons that we're fighting 24/7. And if I dwell on the past all the time, I'm cooked. Like, you have to just overcome. And that's when it's surrendering and letting go. But it's also, you gotta have the balance with it too.
And that's what Christina's talking about. And I think what's cool is like, you have to understand, like, these are objective principles. So Christina, like, if you're like, hey, like, I get lost in the sauce, just being disappointed and justifying it, that's the intention, right? You're unconsciously justifying that state. Like, your intention within is an unconscious belief saying, I want to feel this way because I identify with the version of Christina that's used to feeling this. That's what an unconscious belief actually is. It's a belief that we identify with. So if you identify with the version of yourself that's just going to be disappointed when X, Y, and Z don't happen, and you just expect your life to go that type of way, that's what you're going to expect. And that expectation is placing like an energetic structure upon life. You're saying, my life's going to look like this, right? And that can be, what can come from that state is thoughts, emotions, actions, and behaviors. So that's what life manifests into from this state.
That's when you're falling into the loop.
Exactly. And that's the tough part. Now, current string theory postulates that the ultimate substratum of all that exists in the universe consists of a universal energy. So all that can be said to exist arises out of a common substrate. This is what we call God. This is the source energy. Like, everything's coming from the same source. Isn't that what the creator is? The thing that births us all, that births this entire experience? The possibility of the transformation from potentiality to actuality is provided by the infinite power of the primordial substrate of all existence. Meaning, that field of energy is just doing what it wants. Like, we cannot control it. Now, the way you influence it is through intention. If your intention is to be selfish and to do something for gain, that's the issue, right? But if your intention is to serve the collective good, you're essentially serving the all. You're serving that universal energy. Your intention is pure. Your heart is pure. That's why they say, purify your heart. The universe is now defined as an interactive wholeness of myriad energy, fields of infinite potentiality, differing frequencies merely awaiting the influence of the introduction of intention plus form. Thus, we now have a means by which to describe and understand the easily identifiable process that creation and evolution are actually one and the same process. This is where we're probably losing people. This is where it gets complicated, because it's just a lot of fancy words. But this is where I like to sit down and explore it line by line. We can simplify it. The universe is now defined as an interactive wholeness of myriad energy, fields of infinite potentiality, differing frequencies, merely awaiting the influence of the introduction of intention plus form. Intention is the thing that influences it, right? It's That's why they say purify your vessel, like open your heart. Why would you open your heart? Because you're allowing this energy to do its thing. What is an open heart? It's selflessness. That's where, when I was telling you, like, if I'm just going to do this for the sake of doing something just for Grant and getting something out of it, there's a reason I'm running into an invisible barrier. Like, I'm running into an invisible barrier created by this state, you know? So that's where it's like, okay, the inner work is me going into purify. It's not that I don't get to do the thing I want to do, but it's like, why am I doing it?
Right. It's the intention.
Exactly. Like, if the intention is just to be here and like share the truth with people, like explore these things. Like, we don't know who this is going to reach. We don't know who is going to watch this and have an aha moment.
Yeah, it's just the creation of the Midnight Gospel.
Literally. It's almost the Midnight Gospel. It's literally crazy if you think about it. Dude.
But it's the potentiality. It's, you won't receive the potential that you can arise to unless you surrender.
Agreed. Because if you're holding on to a different version of yourself, that's form. This is why they say, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Let's go.
I can't believe that says that.
What?
It says here now.
Where?
Down left.
Oh, be here now.
Okay, that's a bad one.
Christina said it's like the Midnight Gospel without stoner energy. We just haven't made it that late. No, I've been sober. I'm coming up on 2 years of sobriety. That's a huge thing for me. I never had like a real issue with it, but it was more like a limitation for me to like doing the things I want to do. Like, I want to walk the Wayne Dyer route, right? Like, I feel like naturally called to do those things.
You can essentially reach your fullest potential once you lose the need to have that external, oh, I need this, oh, I need that.
Yeah, I'll mix. Damn. We got baited.
RP chip.
We got baited. See, that's a great Pinterest ad. I didn't even think it was an ad and I clicked on it.
They always have good ones.
Unreal. All right. We can come full circle now. We just talked about these things because it's cool and I like it. Surrender. This is where we always come back to. Oh. This is a pretty applicable one to what we're talking about. Surrender to change or suffer in a loop. This is a great message. The venom is in the holding on. The medicine is in the letting go. That's a great feeling. I think that's like the thing we want to like close out on. Is like what you're looking for is the feeling. And your logical mind will never be able to find it. We just spent an hour running our mouths talking about these things, getting into the nitty-gritty of the symbolism. But that's still intellectualizing it. That's still trying to understand it.
Or making sense of it all.
Exactly. But
life's a journey. Life's an adventure. You want it to be fruitful and you don't want to be stuck.
We do not want that. All right. I'm going back to Pinterest because I like Pinterest.
We got the spectrum up.
Yeah, we literally all on the spectrum. We literally all on the spectrum. That's the new message. We all on the spectrum. All right, I want the map of consciousness, not random images of it. All right, map of consciousness. This is why letting go is the only way to ascend this, right? If you are seeking everything right here, I'd say from green to purple is what we all desire, right? We have a craving. If you have a desire, you have a craving for something. The view of life is disappointing. You're just disappointed that things aren't going your way. Your God view, how you view the Creator, how you view the eternal God, is you deny it. And the process is enslavement, because you're enslaved to your desires. When people look at this, I'm like, I wonder if they actually go like pay attention to it, because the spiritualism is like very straightforward when you realize like if you accept it as eternal truth and you start to apply this to your own life, you're going to be like, whoa. So I look at this as like, when I think of Snickers and I think of our life, and I had that moment with Andrew, I don't experience these things. Like, I experience this.
It's peace.
It's reverence. Christina says, where's the line between letting go and giving up internally? Well, I think they're not the same thing. So I don't even know if there is a line to be drawn, because giving up is unintentionally holding on to a vengeful experience. Like, you are holding on to despair, which is what you have to let go of. So letting go of giving up, like letting go is an action. It's not like a thing. It's a verb, is like what I like to tell people. Does that make sense, Christina? Like, letting go is how we ascend this scale. Like, it's an action. It's a practice we engage, and you learn about it through meditation. You learn about it through becoming conscious. You learn about it through when you're at the gym and you look at someone and you have a judgment. You don't believe the judgment. You're like, why did I think that? Like, that person's not that. I don't know that. Like, you work through that. And what I would always encourage people to do is like, go be present in life. Like, go talk to people. Like, that's something that my most magical experiences in life are when I stopped trying to take from it and I started to give to it, and I started to show up. Like, just be present in people's lives and like stop making it about yourself, and like you free yourself of your concept of self in that process. But one thing I want to focus on is like, we're always sliding this spectrum. We're always like climbing this scale. So it's not like we do have default states that we operate from, right? And the way you make these things default states is by like consistently letting go. Like when I talked about, oh, you go in the trenches for 6 months and you're engaging all the negative things you don't want to be doing. That's something that we must let go and we must come back from. And the more consistently you judge yourself for being lost in the sauce for 6 months, the more you're holding on to this. But if you let go, if you think about it, if you make peace with that and you're like, that's okay too, I'm on my journey, you immediately flying up the scale.
Where's the difference between letting go and acceptance?
Acceptance is how you let go. So, like,
right. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, acceptance is like to make peace with things. Like when we looked at the imagery of the snake and the black and white snake were like this. Right. The only reason they climb up is because you've allowed life to hold the frame of there's good days and bad days.
Because giving up would fall down here.
Yeah, way down
and
there.
Acceptance and letting go is right here.
And it's a forgiveness. It's forgiving yourself for being lost in the sauce for 6 months. It's forgiving yourself for allowing people to be toxic and you holding on to that judgment. It's forgiving God for thinking that he was mercenary up in the sky, right? Like and it becomes harmonious. Like, think about what acceptance is. Acceptance is harmony. Like, come to this one. Like, this is the famous image with the freaking funnel somewhere. Whatever, it's not.
You think it's right there?
This one?
Well, I guess a little bit.
This, like, acceptance is harmony. Like, think about it. Like, if you just accept where you're at, you're free. And in that acceptance, you get all your energy back. All the energy you had that was wound up in your vengeful outlook on life is restored. So you have to keep doing the thing that freed you, which was accepting.
And that's when you need to have the short memory, because you accept it. You have an acceptance. You're letting go of despair, regret, blame.
Yeah. And we don't even need to talk about, like, these levels up here are very rare for someone to like permanently be in. And it's for the spiritual seeker that like dedicates their life to it. Like if you renounce society and like go do this, that's the path you're on.
The people who have achieved complete alignment and peace are not the people that you would expect to.
Facts.
The people that have everything, in reality, in their mind, they feel like they have all this.
The reason people need everything is because they're feeding this state. Life is disappointing, so you need more things. You have a craving, so you need more things. You have a desire, so you need more things. This is why you have to do what makes you whole.
But it's also, there's still balance within this chart, because you still need some of these things to keep you going. Like,
yeah, that's what Dr. Hawkins says. He says like none of these states are better than the other. They're all bricks in a wall. The bricks down here support the bricks up here. That's why you need to go through these things. Like it's all part of the process. It's super cool.
Like you never want to accept. You don't want to find yourself accepting that you're experiencing despair or blame. What you need to do is accept the fact that you're going to forgive yourself. You're going to move on and surrender.
Well, yeah. So this is where it's like the name. So we can teach people how to read this graph. This is the name of the state. So the name of the state you experience is acceptance. But the emotional state, the thing that you're doing that allows you to experience acceptance, is forgiveness. And this forgiveness that you're feeling inside is the emotional state that provides a view of life that is harmonious. Like you see how they're interwoven? And because it's harmonious, the God view is merciful. He has mercy for sin. He's saying, we're all sinners. I forgive you. That's the good news. Like you are forgiven. Now, this is one thing I wanted to touch on is reason is the logical mind. Like this is where a lot of high-level scientists are. And the reason they're never able to break through into the higher states, the businessmen, I literally post on Instagram shirtless talking about surrender and letting go. And all the people that follow me are like directors and screenwriters and like these high level people, like these people that are 2-3 times my age. And that's because the final levels are the toughest. I would say I'm personally on this, in this green to blue area right here. I don't even know. I could completely be down here and I'm fully accepting of that. Like I'm very aware that that could be the state I'm in. But I'm learning to have a love and reverence for my life. Like when I actually look at my life, in the moment of awareness where I am totally present and I'm soaking it in, I have a complete reverence for the things going on.
When people are living in forgiveness, they're not consuming destruction and despair and all the things you see at the bottom of the chart.
Yeah, and it's more they make peace with it, right? So it's like when they lose someone, of course you're going to have grief. Of course you're going to experience shame and guilt and apathy and grief. Think about when someone dies, that sends you all the way down here. It's not that you don't experience those things, that you just don't identify with it. You don't let it govern you. And you slowly, through your process of transcendence and acceptance, climb your way up. So the process that you're going through at each level, like you guys could do like an honest check-in with yourself. Like what I would do is like if you read Pride and you're like, I might be prideful. Well, what does that feel like? Scorn. So what are you doing when you're scorning people? You're comparing, you're judging, you're pointing your finger. That's what scorning is, right? The view of life is demanding. you're impatient with the cashier. You're like, oh my God, look at this person getting paid minimum wage, wasting my time, right? Like that is demanding. You're like, hurry up, pack my bags. Your God view is indifferent. You're like, I don't care what's going on. I got my own thing, pride. And that process is inflation. All the things you're doing are to inflate your ego.
One of my favorite things to do is to come down to earth and just ask whoever's taking my order, how's your day going? And they literally will light up. They will just be like, oh my gosh, this person actually sees me. And that's unreal. It's seriously unreal.
You just got to talk to people. Like when I was getting the gym membership at 24 Hour Fitness today, the guy was like totally in sales mode, like running his script. I'm like, you from here?
Let me
like,
just slide my card.
I know. I was like, no, I'm just trying to get on the machines here. Take the Amex. No, but another thing, like don't live your life with this as a God. Like don't come to this every day and be measuring it. Like go inside, like realize this is where I believe letting go and surrender is like a great message because it's the process of transcendence. How do you let go? How do you transcend the lower stages? By letting go of them, by not identifying with them, by being okay on, if you get angry, that's okay. It's going to be a reaction. I'm going to get angry and then I'm going to be like, oh, what? I don't want my life to be like that. Like that's what acceptance is. And then you're freed and then you transcend. This is a great thing.
No, seriously, I love this chart.
Well, okay. I want people, as we start streaming more, like when people ask good questions, that makes their life awesome because we like can take you with direction. So I think going forward it'd be cool in the streams for like
alley-oops, like
yeah, literally send alley-oops. As we go forward to just spend a lot of our time like just addressing what people want to talk about.
Yeah, people's challenges and what they're dealing with. Because I think so many people live in fear and anxiety, and it's just that's so difficult to deal with that every day.
Exactly, and that's why you got to let go of it. Like when I'm asking the questions of what's my life going to look like if I do X? Like right now I'm in a place where I've got a lot of, because I have so many options to do X, Y, and Z in career and business, I'm kind of paralyzed by it. And if I engage that paralysis and I spend my days anxious, waiting for life to begin, then I'm missing it. So I use letting go as a vehicle. I'm like, well, what are the things that I like to do? Like if money weren't an option and I didn't have to pay rent and X, Y, and Z, like what are the things I actually want to do? I want to talk about surrender and letting go because it feels good to do it. Like if I get to make my job surrender and letting go and helping people do that, amen. Like,
and if anything, that keeps you in the present moment.
Exactly. And that's what I want. Like I want to experience the full totality of life. Like I'm not afraid to go face what the higher states hold. Like I've seen some crazy things on my journey, and that's why I'm sober, because I'm like, to go knock on heaven's door and be like, I'm ready, you have to be pure.
It's a very difficult thing.
Exactly.
It's a fearful thing, man.
And that's why we just put one foot in front of the other.
But we're all going to experience it whether you like it or not.
100%. I think that was a great stream.
What an awesome 1 hour.
Awesome 1 hour.
First time getting back into it. First time on the GT stream. It's feeling good.
I know. We're going to keep coming back. Like this is totally the average stream.
Like, this is the start of something good, Dodge. You know?
The start of something good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys had a good stream. And if you're watching this at your own rate, I hope it's informative. I'll come to the streams from now on more prepared. This was just spontaneous. I'll probably put together workbooks, things I want to talk about, like directions I want to take it based on like what is desired from the audience. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 11:30 here in SoCal. So we're peacing out. Shout out Jalen Brunson. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, good night.
Trent says, thanks for joining, Presto.
Yeah, how's up?
Hats off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until we meet again.